Hauck in studio, and Bryan Coromato. Do I say that properly, Bryan? Good morning. You can do the introductions and the explanation, if you would, Steve.
Sure. Bryan's been a lieutenant for a little while. He's about 15 years in the job, and we've worked together on many different facets. So it was natural he'd be a good fit for this position.
Yeah.
So I figured wasn't originally planning on bringing him in today, but I figured now is a good time to introduce him to everyone here, and I'm happy he's taking it over.
So you're going to be dealing with us, the media.
Good luck.
That's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You know, and part of the problem, and we were talking about the Lieutenant Hauck about this the other day, is that everybody wants the story today. Everybody, and we've always wanted the story, but it seems like everything gets out so quickly now. A lot of times people aren't checking sources before they run with something, but we're up against topics in Facebook where people are just printing names. You know, there's no embargo anymore. People are just printing stuff, so it's not an easy job.
For sure.
Do you think it's an easy job?
Well, I always try to, from one angle, I think it's an easy job, but no, if I was doing it, I do see it. It's, you know, and the thing is if you go online, you can see anywhere. There's even organizations that the public would think maybe is a real news organization, but they're really
absolutely
not. You know, they throw the name news out there, and everybody thinks, oh, but they're really not a news organization.
Yeah, you see that a lot on the national level,
Sure.
national level. And the other thing is we've had 4 or 5 stories around here in the last year or two that have hit national news, and these national outlets are just printing whatever they find, and they're not reputable national outlets. They have newspaper names, but they're not really newspapers.
Sure, and we've seen this locally even a couple of times, and without naming anybody, I know you know the story, but where one of the local media put out a video, our dash cam video of an officer, and purported that he was planting drugs on someone a few years back.
Oh, I remember
and so
that.
we immediately posted the entire video and said, "Here's the video to see." And the reason why I'm here today is to talk about the incident from a couple days ago.
So
Same thing happened. There's a national organization. I won't even give them credibility by saying who they are. Where
they jumped on this.
They took an excerpt of the video and put it out there.
Let me describe the video first.
Sure.
So police pull up. We didn't want to see police pull up. It seems like someone's shooting from inside a house.
Right, exactly.
Okay, and they're shooting, and they can see police, and of course they're giving commentary.
Sure. Which is funny, by the way.
Which was entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was one line in there where they're almost like saying the guy who's being arrested, or almost saying, you know, in so many words, why did he do this? What the hell? Why does he? You know, it's almost like they were.
Well, really, the video comes
that.
sort of full circle with the audio. It's the police are terrible and look how bad they are, and then at the end it's like, oh, okay, I get why they.
Yeah. Well, and here's the deal: they strip searched this guy. Utica police strip searched the guy right in broad daylight. So, and you hear the guys in the background saying, they can't do that. This is against his rights. How could they do that? Come to find out, what was really going on? Why did this happen? What was really happening?
Well, I do a little bit with the characterization. I don't really think it was a strip search per se. They certainly were going inside the clothing.
Yeah.
Strip search to me is you pull all the clothing off and then you search, which is not what happened. So initially you had the stop, and during the course of that stop, the officers discovered that there was drugs. So, when you have that situation, that allows the police to search further.
Yes.
So while they do that, they discover that there was a weapon in his pants, in the back of his pants. So immediately, of course, when you have a weapon, you've got to get that weapon. So the officers take the suspect to the ground, and
it was under a couple of layers.
What they find is there's 4 layers.
4 layers.
4 layers of clothing. So he had layer upon layer upon layer. And the gun was wedged in an actual pocket inside, like, boxer pants.
Yeah.
So they literally couldn't remove it. So they were trying, what you see in the video is them trying to pull the layers back to try to remove this gun, which they ultimately were able to do. But to the layman out there watching it, you can't see it. Obviously, you're not close enough to be able to see exactly what they're doing. So obviously the commentary reflects that. But
I really give a great deal of credit to the guys doing the commentary as they're talking. And there's a lot of slang and some F-bombs if you watch the video. But they use the word 2 or 3 times, buttocks.
Yes.
And I kind of enjoyed that. I thought that was the quote of the day.
And they're trying to be professional.
They were trying to be
professional.
professional.
And at the end, if you listen, you know, they mentioned something like a hammer, which that's slang for a gun.
it,
So
okay,
a lot of people
okay.
don't know what that means
Yeah.
exactly, but that's what that is. So,
Yeah.
and you can see at the end, like I said, it kind of comes full circle.
Yeah.
Where at the end they're like, oh, now I see why.
Yeah, it's
So,
almost like, oh man, well, why did he do that?
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
because they knew who he was.
Yeah.
But again, this goes back to showing how these videos, when you see them, they might not be exactly what you think you're watching.
again, we've talked about this many
Yeah,
times
yeah.
that in a lot of them, and you certainly can understand why, but the videos start in mid-action, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, it's usually, you see the police reaction, you don't see what happened that led up to the police doing what
Yeah,
they did. So
yeah.
that's why I always say, we're for video. I've always said before that I like body camera video. The difference between body camera and this sort of video is body camera is going to capture the whole thing.
Correct.
So you have to take the sort of
And this
video
was a
when you see it.
bystander. They were
Right.
taping from their
And
house.
understandable, he doesn't
Yeah.
know that this is going to happen,
Yeah.
and I get it, and there's nothing wrong with him videotaping.
Yeah.
But people have to take that for what it is and understand that it's not always going to show everything.
Yeah.
And either be because you can't see it, you can't
Yeah.
hear it, or you
Yeah.
miss the part of it. So
Andrew.
So what do you say to the people that's what their objective is out there, is to, spread this video, help it go viral, and, it's not really the most responsible thing, but how do you combat the person's need to, help propel this, any kind of video to viral status? Like, how do you...
Well, here's the problem. If you take a piece of, like you're saying that this
Right.
outlet did, if you take a piece of the video and you post it, you are in for thousands and thousands of hits.
Right.
And that means revenue. That means ad revenue.
And that's the problem, is that, and we've talked about it with
Yeah.
the credibility with media, is really truly about telling as much as you can a neutral story, as opposed to turning it and try to pretend like no one's gonna question your opinion on Dave Gordon. Right?
Right.
That's honest.
my
But you're not
opinion.
pretending
Yeah.
that you're a neutral party in a particular
Right.
area. So don't pretend. If you're gonna
Not
say
only-
it or you
not
have
only-
by it, then say it.
Not only did I not pretend, but I really didn't pretend.
Right. So, which is to me is okay. There's nothing. I'm an opinionated guy
Yes.
too, and I have no
Yes.
problem with that.
Yeah.
But don't pretend that you're neutral
Right.
and say that it's
Well,
one way
and
when it's really
still
not.
half the story is
That's it. Tell the whole
and,
story.
yeah, and it makes not just the police department look bad, but it makes the entire community look bad. 30 seconds.
My opinion of this video was drastically changed when I saw the headline on it, which was Utica police violating a man's rights. I knew right away something was not right there with the headline.
Yeah, that headline alone has
Sure.
already passed judgment.
Right.
And I don't blame the
And
person
they-
that took
yeah.
the video because
Yeah.
they're obviously not a journalist. They're
Correct.
So I'm actually even okay with that. What I have issue with is people that purport themselves to be journalists and not showing either the whole story or telling the whole story.
That to me is the real issue, because even the case that I've seen locally, the person claims to be a journalist, but really is not.